Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. This is coming on off of the how to make nice screenshots tutorial. Uh no, this is going to be how to edit photos. I use Lightroom catalog V13. And yeah, this is one of my friends. So when you are here, you can click File, Import Photos and Video. Edit data. So usually your photo is going to be saved in local disk, users, Essence PC, so that's just my PC, documents, a cursor, and then screens right here. I have quite a lot of photos here, so just over 1,786 photos. That's the amount I've taken. So you find the photo that you've just taken. You just click on this button up here, the tick. Click on import, and you can double click on your photo. So now what you're going to do is you can press D on your keyboard. That's going to open up these magical sliders here. So if you really want to, you can click on auto. I don't personally like to use the auto feature. I think sometimes it can ruin a photo. So this is just going to be how I edit a photo. So first of all, I always turn the saturation down just a tiny bit. Makes photos look just a tiny bit more realistic. And the vibrance just goes down a little bit. Yeah, so you can turn up the exposure. I might do that just a tiny bit to maybe plus 0.15. Makes the photo just look a bit more natural, a bit more what your eyes would see in the real world. This tone curve. This you kind of want to be looking a bit like an S, you know? So you pull the shadows down. Boost the darks just a tiny bit, maybe turn them down. Leave that way it is. Sometimes lights can go up, and then there is one more just all the way at the top called the highlights. Can turn the highlights up. Now there are more to this. You've got click to edit the point curve, which is this second option. You can mess with this. So this will just make it look a little bit more movie like, if that's what you're after. So you can do something like this. But yeah, that's all up to you. Entirely up to you. This color mixer you can adjust. So let's say you want the blues to be really sharp in your photo, or you want them to be gone. This can be adjusted. I think that actually looked quite good when it was like that, you know. Yeah, we'll turn this down just a little bit, but you can mess with colors here. If you want the greens to be super bright, but in the real world they're not usually that bright, so we're gonna turn them down just a little bit. So the color grading section, this is the bit I told you not to touch in Assetto Corsa here. This, no, this. I would not even look at this in Assetto Corsa because it's shit. So you can go to your Lightroom. Shadows. So this is going to be most of this photo and the color grading for it. So let's say if you wanted it to be like a realistic photo, I wouldn't touch it too much. But if you want like a really aggressive photo like this, so you can just colors. I wouldn't go all the way to there because it looks like shit. I'd use it pretty low, not anything crazy. And for this photo, I think it looks a bit like this maybe. Yeah, like the orange type. I like that. The highlights is going to adjust the sun mainly, so maybe there. Can have it really bright. I'm not even going to touch the highlights on this photo. And the midtones, these are probably the bit that's going to make the English, the bit that's going to change the photo the most. You can change them a little bit more accurate when you're here. You can change the hue. You can adjust it manually basically with this slider. And you can just adjust how much of the mids are there and how much there aren't. So for this photo, we can go quite aggressive with it, like that. Detail sharpening. So if your photo came out the box quite sharp, like mine, oh shit, that makes it look like ass. But you can do a bit more sharpening if you really wanted to. I wouldn't push it anything past maybe 15. Because otherwise, in my opinion, it looks a bit shit. Luminance, manual noise reduction. This basically just adds the blur in a sort of weird way. I don't really like touching this, so I don't. Lens correction. This is for if you took a photo on a phone and you want to correct the lens to make it better in a way. That's a transform. This is for if you wanted to look like the Star Wars credits, you know? You go like this. Yeah, that's it as well. Lens blur. This is brand new. I'm going to show you how to use this first on YouTube. My advertising. Anyways, it takes a second to analyze the photo and add blur. So, any data? Come on. Okay. So this here is how you're going to adjust the photo. So this little part here is the car. So we can blur everything from there. And we can pull this little string to like far back as we really want it to be, really, in it. Like there. And we can add the blur to the background. But I don't know if I want to use it on this photo. I think I've blurred out too little. I've blurred out the rear of the car there, haven't I? Like that, maybe. I'm looking at this part here. If you're curious, I want to get this part fully in focus. But I think the photo came with that bit just a little bit blurry. But that can obviously be adjusted within the next part. This is vignette. The vignette adds the kind of darker parts to the edge or the lighter parts to the edge, depending on which way you pull it. I'd always pull it down just a little bit, not too aggressively. Like there, maybe. Yeah, that's personal preference. Calibration. This is for if you want to mess with everything. Keep it on version 6. But you can add reds, or you can make the photo. Ooh, that looks quite good actually. Like there, yeah. The greens, you can adjust the greens, obviously. Like just a little bit. Like the blues. Yeah, that looks quite good in my opinion. This is how you'd crop the photo. I'm not even gonna touch the cropping. I think it's quite good, if anything. You can pull it up, but you can make it so it's custom, aspect ratio, or original. This is for if you're taking photos of humans or pets straight on. I wouldn't touch it. Healing, I wouldn't touch this either. Masking, this is where the fun begins, in my opinion. So you can add a mask to the subject, which usually this is quite accurate, and then you can just adjust the car. So that's just demonstration, and it is just the car that I'm editing. Put that like there, maybe. If you really wanted to, you can add one for just the background. For the background, I don't really want to touch it. I think it's quite good. I would always add like a linear range on one side of the photo, like this. So where the car's kind of driving, in a way, make that bit just a little bit brighter, but not too aggressive. Like there, that works in my opinion. Linear. What did it say? Something radiant. So if I want to make just one specific part brighter or the bit around it, this can be done. You can make this central part very good, or you can have it quite faded. That's what this sort of slider does in a way. I'd have it kind of half like there, so I can make just this sun quite bright in this if I really wanted to. Color pointer, this will just adjust one specific color. So if I wanted the whites to be, I don't know, more one way or the other way, can be adjusted. I clicked on a different thing then. That's okay. You can just remove that color pointer. Or if you wanted to do one with, I don't know what we would want to adjust. Maybe this. I don't know why it keeps adjusting that. Oh well, it's new as well. But it's a thing that's there now. And you have all of the settings that were there before. The only things that get adjusted is this part where it says mask 4. So all of this is what's in that mask that you've clicked on. The other ones I wouldn't recommend touching. The brush, this can be done if you wanted to make maybe the shadows a bit darker. You can go around the shadows, make just the shadows just a little bit brighter. Let's say I want this front shadow to be a bit brighter. It's all possible with this. So now what you can do is file and export. So otherwise export as a PNG. You can make it HDR. I wouldn't. I'd keep it in sRGB because it's what the internet uses. If you didn't know, the internet's color space is sRGB. So leave it there. Got this to 16 bits if you really wanted to. HDR, I wouldn't. I'd leave this at sRGB and 16 bits. You can resize the image if you really wanted to. You can add a watermark if you want. I wouldn't again. I don't think it's worth it, but you can export this, and then wherever you saved that photo, you can go and find it. So if you go to PS Photos, which is where mine is saved, they do take a second to render, but when they are done, they look quite good in my opinion. This is how I personally edit photos, but it's all up to you at the end of the day how you edit your photo, how you want it to look, what you want the viewer to be looking at. A few top tips. Usually the brightest part or the part closest to the camera is what they look at. So always have the subject a bit brighter than everything else, or the sun quite bright as well, because that's something you might want them to look at if you're trying to blind them. But yeah, that's tip one. I'd always make a photo look a little bit more aggressive, so the highlights down, the highlights up, the shadows down. That's some of my advice. And mess around with color grading, depending on the theme. So if you want a Need for Speed type color grading, like 2015, I think it was, where it was all kind of a blue tint, you can do that to Lightroom. And once again, don't let anybody tell you that your photos are shit. That's my advice. Thank you for listening to my tutorial. Subscribe, like, and yeah, if you ever want help taking photos or things like that, you can go to Colin Chip's Discord server and you can post your photos in here. I will help you like with the editing if you really want some help with it. All of my photos are in here as well if you want to look at them, but this is all up to you. You don't even have to post them, they could just be for you. It is a hobby at the end of the day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.